All right, hi, we're recording. This is our second attempt. We hope it goes well. But welcome to another episode of whatever this is, our Russian football podcast, where we discuss the weird and wacky world of Russian football. This is the first ever Russian football podcast recorded. I've messed that up. But this is the first time that a podcast has been recorded when there have been three Russian teams in the Champions League. Krasnodar qualified. Artem, before we even give the people an intro, what do you feel? How are your emotions? Give it to us live and direct.
I'm delighted on one hand because we've never seen this before. We've never seen three Russian teams in the Champions League. And I'm also really pissed on the other hand because why did they have to wait for the year where we no longer get three Champions League spaces to do this? Why?
Listen, man, sometimes you have to sacrifice something smaller to achieve something bigger. That's what they say.
That's exactly what we did with Rostov and Dynamo last week, didn't
Yeah,
we?
that's exactly what we did with Rostov and Dynamo. We're not letting Rostov get away with this, by the way. We're going to discuss them as well. We're going to hit on them as well. But yeah, welcome to another episode. This is episode 9 of whatever this is. Thanks a lot for all your wonderful support, both on YouTube and Sportrex. We've already got over 1,000 views on Sportrex, a lot of which are courtesy of the great nation of Kazakhstan. Shout out Kazakhstan. We love you guys. We love everybody that listens, but Kazakhstan getting a special shout out because the brunt of our viewers this episode on Sportrex were from that country. Also have 7 fans. Go on Sportrex and become a fan. We will already one of the top arenas in football, but we can reach even greater heights thanks to your support. Of course, the big news today, today, this week, however you want to say it, probably the biggest news of the year is that Krasnodar last week we came and talked about how they defeated PAOK in the first leg. They won 2-1 in their playoff game against PAOK. The advantage was with PAOK because they only had to score 1 goal at home to proceed to get to the group stages for the first time in their history as well. But Krasnodar, man, listen, they came through with a great composed performance. We watched it live, like on Discord. Me, Artem, and David Sampson, we watched it live. And Artem, yeah, take us through the game. Take us through your prediction that you're rightfully quite proud about. And what are your thoughts? What we saying about the future?
I'm not sure I'm quite it was an okay prediction. It was 1 goal off. I said 2-0 Krasnodar, which, you know, it's not a great prediction, but we won at least, which is good.
Right.
To be honest, I'm not gonna go out and say that this was some kind of giant killing. Krasnodar they played well.
Yeah.
PAOK weren't great, but Krasnodar got the job done, which is something that we can't say for a lot of Russian football teams in recent history. So,
Yeah.
to be honest, they should be extremely proud of themselves. They're one of the best run clubs in Russia, and arguably in Eastern Europe, and maybe even Europe.
Mm-hmm.
They're fantastic. Their owner, Sergei Galitsky, deserves every praise that he gets. And now they're the youngest club in Champions League history at the age of 12, which is absolutely fantastic.
At the age of
I know
12.
that sounds really weird.
It's so funny. It's so funny to say someone's in the Champions League at the age of 12. But they are, man. Respect. No, respect. And I'm a good friends over at RFN, obviously stating that's the first time Russia has 3 teams in the Champions League. And this, it just elevates Krasnodar to that next level that we so often talk about. We've talked about there being a risk of Krasnodar falling into the chasing pack, which contains Rostov and other bottlers. But listen, they're in the Champions League. Not many clubs have been there, especially if you're Russian. They're a very well-run club. They're a very exciting project. It's obviously going to propel some of their players to more spotlight. Players like Wanderson and Artem's man, Safonov, Utkin, quite a few players. So we're all really excited. Doesn't matter if they finish 4th, which they probably will, probably might. But it's just huge news. And the podcast, by the way, is 3-on-3 with dissing people and making them turn into absolute legends the week after. We did it with Leonid Slutsky. He's been playing very well. I mean, his team has been playing very well since. We did it with Grant McCann. His Hull City team has been playing very well since. And now we've done it with Krasnodar. And yeah, you know what? If things are not going right in your life, if you want to turn something around, just drop us a message, give us 10 euros, and we'll be happy to diss whoever you want on this podcast, and your life will be fixed the next
Exactly.
week.
You
So
just got let's say you just got fired. Let
yeah,
us know. We'll diss your boss. He's gonna come call him. Your girlfriend just dumped you. Get us to disser. I guarantee she's going to come back. It's 100%. There's absolutely no way that it can go wrong, as our track record proves.
100%. And by the way, if you want something cheaper, I think it's worth mentioning my Jinx game, which is undefeated. And Artem agrees that it's undefeated. A couple of people on Twitter also believe that it's undefeated. Last night, what happened was Krasnodar took the lead, and I shouted on Twitter saying, Russia are going to have another team in the Champions League. Not a minute later, PAOK equalized, right? As soon as PAOK equalized, I shouted out, oh, Omar Al Kaduri, what a goal. Greece are going to have another team in the Champions League. Not a minute later, it's 2-1. Okay, Real Madrid were playing horribly. Then Leon, a good friend Leon on Twitter, he said, just shout out that Real Valladolid are the better Real. I did that. Not 3 minutes later, we scored. So it just tells you that we are horrible at making predictions on this podcast, but we are good at jinxing them. Right? We are good at jinxing things. So that's our specialty. But yeah, the Champions League group stage draw is tonight. And Artem, I'm going to throw you in the deep once again. Give me your preferred groups for Russian clubs. That's it. Just like look at the stuff and just give me your preferred groups.
Damn. Okay. Right. I'd like Zenit to get Barcelona.
Right.
Because why not?
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind a bit of RB Salzburg, and I actually don't know. Maybe Midtjylland just because of Lucas Muller. For Krasnodar, I'm going to say. Do you know what? Krasnodar, I'm going to say Porto, because I feel like Krasnodar can get a win against them, get our coefficients up. We'll go. You want to see them play against good teams, so I'm going to say Manchester United. And
it's not a good team.
That Greece, or not that, I was going to say Greece, that Hungarian team that I can't pronounce. You know who I'm talking about. Ferenc, whatever.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And then Lokomotiv, it really doesn't matter because they're going to come last anyway.
They're going to be the worst team in this entire competition. Like they are going to 6 games, 0 wins, 0 draws, 6 losses, a goal difference of -24. That's what's going to happen to Lokomotiv. They don't need good teams. They just need your thoughts and prayers. That's what Lokomotiv need, right? But for me, Zenit, I think Zenit could. I think Chelsea or Man United are beatable. Zenit, even though they disappointed us last year, if you go on balance. I think Salzburg obviously wouldn't mind them. I won't mind Lazio either. Could be a decent game. Olympiacos, I think, are one of those teams that look easy but are tricky to play against. So not them. And in this group, it doesn't matter. Başakşehir would be nice. Midtjylland would be nice. Ferencvaros obviously are team everybody wants, but you never know, they might surprise us. For Krasnodar, it's basically they're there for a good time, not a long time. So I wouldn't mind them playing against Sevilla or Porto for Pot 1, like you said. But I wouldn't mind if they came up against Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Juventus, PSG, any big team either. Pot 2 is where you want them to get a good draw. So Ajax wouldn't be bad, I guess. Ajax or Ajax. I'll go with Ajax. And Pot 4, honestly, anybody. Club Brugge. It's all you're hoping for is basically to get anybody, just beat anybody from Pot 4, right? So you can at least get Europa League.
I don't know, man. I think Marseille are actually really tough out of that one.
Yeah, but I mean, only one club is going to get Marseille, isn't it? So,
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't say, "Oh, yeah, we'll take anybody." Like, ideally, it wouldn't be Marseille. Even Borussia Mönchengladbach, I'd kind of be like, it's 50-50 for me, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'd really prefer to have, like, right, Istanbul, without their fans, maybe not going to be as difficult as usual.
No. This Istanbul, they don't have fans. They literally do not have any fans. So they're like a club which is propelled by the government.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so they're like a club which is known in Turkey for having 0 fans.
Okay, well then we want them.
Yeah, and their shit as well. They won the league last season, but this season they've played 3 games and lost all 3 or something.
Fantastic. That's exactly what we want
So
them.
yeah, and their squad is like full of players like Gail Clichy and Martin Skirtle and FIFA 11 players basically. So
So they're basically the Sochi of the Turkish league.
exactly, they're the Turkish Sochi. Very, very, very good analogy there. But yeah, the
Okay.
Champions League group stage draw is tomorrow. You always listen, man. All you want is, of course, you want teams to progress, but it's just going to be nice seeing so many Russian clubs play in the Champions League. It might be the only time this ever happens, so cherish it, even if you lose 4-0. And all you hope is some players play well, some players get big moves, and the flag of Russia is flown high. But
You
moving
know what? You know what? I'm gonna put you on the spot now, right?
right.
Name me one player, one Russian player who you think is gonna really, really do well in the Champions League this season.
Well, Artem, I'll name you.
No. Don't name me a list. Name me one player who's going to be really standout, that's going to surprise everyone, who's going to have like tweets about them from different countries, all that kind of stuff.
I don't think it's great. Hold up. Okay, nobody from Lokomotiv. Zenit don't really have any players like that. Russian players or Russian league players?
We'll do one of each. One of each.
Okay, Russian
I know
league
who you're going to
player.
say for the Russian league player.
Yeah, Wanderson, obviously. But
Yeah.
Russian player, honestly, I think Safonov or Utkin. Those are the guesses that make sense because they're younger players, so they appeal to people more. And
Yeah.
those would probably be the obvious guesses. What about you?
Safonov is the one I was saying. Like I said this to you last night. I've just got visions of him playing incredibly well against some really big teams and getting a move to PSG in the summer. That's extremely specific, by the way, I know. But look, my visions, when are they wrong? Except for always.
Yeah, no, they're
Uh, and
even
in terms of go on.
with Safonov's that goalkeeper that one game he'll make 16 saves in a game, and the other game he'll just make 2 mistakes. He's that player. He's Igor Akinfeev.
He's that guy.
He is that guy though. So like I feel like I don't know, man. I think Daniel Utkin. I would say Daniel Utkin because he's a lot more consistent. He scores big goals. So I hope it's Daniel Utkin. But yeah, what were you saying? Go on.
No, and then my foreign player, I was just gonna like. It's tough not to think of one of the obvious ones like Malcolm or Cabella, you know,
Yeah.
because they're like I really think that Malcolm's gonna stand out for Zenit in the Champions League. I
Yeah.
feel like he's gonna be the one who's gonna who we're really gonna run plays around. And mate, like Cabella obviously is just the heart of that Krasnodar team. Like last night, he was the one who was on the ball the most. I'd say he's really really good player. Yeah, so I'll say one of them. I know it's an obvious pick, but look,
You know what? I think it's going to be Rajkovic.
no, it's not.
Yeah, it is. He's a
No, it's
locomotive. He's
not.
Serbian. He's
Are you saying this? Are you saying he's gonna surprise people? As in, like, oh,
of course.
he isn't the shittest player in that team. Is
Yeah,
that what you're saying?
exactly.
Okay, right. Okay, that's a different story. I was kind of going for actual people who are good.
No, then you've got to talk about Adair. Adair is in that category. Actual people that are good.
He's not though.
Listen, okay, how many players playing in this entire competition have scored a goal that has won both the Russian Premier League and the Euros?
You're
See,
right.
see, see that it's unbeatable. Adair is unbeatable. But moving on to some more depressing pastures. Uh, Krasnodar went through, but their southern friends Rostov didn't. They lost to Maccabi Haifa. They didn't really play. They played horribly. Daniil Glebov picked up 2 red cards in 2 matches. Got a red card here, and the next game in the league, he got a red card again. So well done. But yeah, I mean, listen, man, it's really disappointing. Rostov, you wouldn't have expected them to beat Spurs anyway, but you should have at least, for the sake of the coefficient, beaten Maccabi Haifa. And Artem, quickly, what are we saying about this? What are we saying about another perennial disappointment in the qualifiers.
Fuck Rostov.
Moving on, Eldor Shomurodov is being linked to Genoa in an 8 million move. Artem, what are your thoughts on that? We're actually discussing that now, by the way.
Oh, I rate that so highly from Rostov. I have no idea how they're getting 8 million from. I was talking to we were talking to David yesterday, and David was like if they got an offer of 8 million like when he was really in form, he'd be kind of like, yeah, I see it. Even then, it's a little bit high, maybe 6 or 7 million. But now, how they're managing to get Genoa to pay 8 million is absolutely beyond me. I think that's a fantastic bit of business from them, and I think if they have some time before the window closes, they'll definitely be able to bring in one or two players for that.
Yeah, no, you know what I think? Of course, no doubt, it's a great bit of business from them selling him for 8 million. But I really love Eldor Shomurodov. I think seems like a really nice guy. He's a good player. He's just been on a bit of bad form. David was saying that he had a good patch and that was it. He's not really that good of a player. I think the opposite. I think right now he's going through a really bad patch, and he'll come out of it. He'll come out of it and start scoring again. I don't know much about Genoa except for the fact that they've done some dealings with Russian clubs in the past. I don't know if it's a blind signing. I don't know if they've been monitoring him for weeks, months, and years. I don't know if you don't know much about Italian clubs because they have like 20 players in, 30 players out each season. You don't know if he's going to start. You don't know if he's going to fit in that system. But honestly, I just wish him the best. And he's what 24, 25 years old, right?
Jeez, I don't know.
Yeah.
I do wish him the best. I do think he's a good player. I watched him score against Lokomotiv live last season.
Hmm.
Fantastic header. Like he has it in him to be a really good player. I just do think that was more form than anything else. I think I'm kind of in between you and David, where like David's like he's not that great of a player, and you're like, oh, he's a great player. I think he's an okay player. I think he's going to get you like 5 to 7 goals, maybe 10 in a season, but I don't think he's ever going to be like, one of the best strikers in any league.
Do you not think he was one of the best strikers in the RPL last year?
He was a good striker in the RPL last season. If you'd said to me at Christmas time, was he one of the best, I would have said yeah. If you'd said to me a couple of months later, it depends on what you mean by one of the best. If I'd say top three, I'd say no.
Right. Okay. No, that's fair. Yeah, we're going to continue on with this transfer a little bit because we don't really have much to talk about. Um, Artem Polyaros, Artem's namesake, has gone to Akhmat Grozny, which is a very Akhmat Grozny transfer. But listen, the big one that we all care about is Stanislav Kritsyuk going to Belenenses. And Artem broke this news story to me, and it's just one of the craziest transfers I've ever seen in Russian football. He is actually their most valuable player on transfer market, which is mental because he's only valued at like 2 million. But Artem, did you ever think that Stanislav Kritsyuk would be the best player at a Portuguese league club?
Um, well, I don't know because the thing is he's been very good in Portugal in the past. He clearly likes living there. Like he's played for both who was Rio Ave and
Wait, has he?
yeah, he played for two Portuguese teams.
Oh,
Braga.
wow. I never knew that.
Are you mental? Like it was a big thing when he came to Krasnodar because it was like, oh, this guy, he's been playing from abroad. He's really good. Um, yeah, no, he's so I kind of saw the
Wait,
opportunity for him to go to Portugal. I just didn't think that it would be Belenenses or
man,
whatever.
this isn't
However,
Bruges. And I thought he's like Gabilov and going straight to Club Bruges, and he's never been abroad. This isn't big. This is just a regular transfer then.
yeah, it is. That's the thing. He
Nah,
I'm pretty sure he speaks decent Portuguese. Like he lived there for like 5 years already.
nah, I'm
All right, maybe
disappointed
not
in
five, but
him.
3 or 4.
Ah, come on, man. I thought he was like completely out of the. Nah. We don't care anymore. We don't care
I
anymore.
care. I think it's still cool. It's good. It's good to have another Russian player in the top. I hate to say this, but the top 6 leagues. Oh,
Ah,
fuck Portugal.
yeah, no. There's actually two goalkeepers now, two Russian goalkeepers in there. Ivan Zlobin is also playing
Yeah.
for that other club, and he started on the weekend as well. He's the first choice goalkeeper. But
Respect.
yeah, we've got no other transfers. You mentioned that if Rostov has some time, they should get another striker for Eldor Shomurodov, and they're going to get Luka Djordjevic apparently. He's being the main one that's main name that's being thrown around. Now I know we both like Luka Djordjevic. Seems to be a great guy. He wants and need the title, and he's come up big. Just he's never really had a consistent run of games. He's never been the first choice at any club in his entire career. But Artem, what we saying about Djordjevic to Rostov?
If he can come back from his injury well, I think he's going to be a fantastic signing for Rostov. I think he fits that team, and I think he'll be loved down there. One transfer you're missing though
Oh, man.
is Zinkovskiy.
Oh wow, the national team also came out. We completely forgot about that. But yeah, we'll discuss that. Zinkovskiy now.
Going to ignore my
No, I'm not.
Zinkovskiy
No, I'm not.
shout?
I'm not going to Zinkovskiy you. I'm not going to ignore your Zinkovskiy. I don't know what I'm saying.
Come on.
Uh, but yeah, Zinkovskiy playing for Krylia Sovetov, one of the best players in the FNL, not the best player in the FNL. He was going to go to Arsenal Tula, but then news came out that he's not going to go to Arsenal Tula, and instead he's going to go play for the dizzying heights of FC Khimki. I don't know what the point of this transfer is. Maybe Artem can explain it better. Artem, you were a big fan of this transfer, I think, weren't you? You were excited for him to play alongside Brian Edovu.
Okay. Apparently. No, I didn't actually see the point of this transfer either until someone in the RFN chat, I think it was James, said that the reason he's going to Himki is if he plays well there, he's going to move to Spartak for very cheap afterwards.
Oh, it's just quick maths there. That means that's actually not bad. I didn't know that.
But the thing is, yeah, that makes more sense. But you know where I'd prefer him to go?
Zenit.
No, Rostov.
Really?
Tell me that you wouldn't. That would be an enjoyable team. If they
Yeah,
had Zinkovskiy and Djordjevic on top of the players they already have, that would be fun. Like,
yeah, it would actually. It's not a bad shout.
but
It's
it's
not
not going to
really,
happen.
yeah, it's not going to happen. I prefer Tula actually. I'm not that opposed to him going to Tula. I think Tula need a player to replace Daniel Lisovoy, and he's going to fit
Yeah,
in. Or isn't
100%.
Lomovitsky going to Tula? Or was that some other club?
Uh, Maybe.
I don't know. I saw that. But yeah, Zinkovsky is interesting. That hope that he does. He at least he needs to get out of Krylia. I think is the main thing. At least get out of the FNL. But
No, he needs to bring Krylia back up.
Krylia will come up regardless.
They should, but you never know. The way they started the season has been great.
Orenburg are coming up, by the way, guys. Be excited for
Oh,
Orenburg coming
100%.
up next season. But yeah, the Russia squad. Thank God I stumbled upon this. I don't really have much to say for the Russia squad, except for who is Zirov? Who is Zirov? Artem, who
He's
is
a
Zirov?
Russian guy playing in the Bundesliga too.
Why has he been called up?
I think Cherchesov has been following for a while. I think it's one of those things where, players in those kind of leagues, in the lower leagues abroad, they might just be good enough for the Russian national team. I don't think he is, to be honest. Like, I'm not gonna lie and say that he's like I've watched him or anything like that, but we'll see. Like, I think it's definitely worth a risk taken. We have other players there to play ahead of him anyway. But if he gets a couple of minutes and shows that he's actually a decent backup or something, then why not?
Yeah, no, that's fair. I hope, what, he's probably going to prove us wrong by scoring a banger or something. So,
That'd be great.
yeah, that'd be great. And I'll take all my words back, as I always have to do on every episode here. But RFN giving us all the content. I forgot about Vladislav Molchan from NEC going to SM Kane for a big price of 10K. Fair play, good luck to him as well. I'm actually trying to look for that. You remember that thing which came out a couple of days ago, which was like the 33 best players? But
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
clearly it's not worth mentioning by that much because it had all the big players. There's not really that much to discuss on there.
There was
But
no surprises
yeah,
really.
exactly. The only thing I didn't like was Eric McFalvey over Sobolev, which was I just didn't like that. But apart from that, they did a good job there. But we actually haven't discussed the RPL so far. We've been talking for at least 20-25 minutes and we haven't discussed the RPL. Usually, what happens is I come on this podcast at the very start. I ask Artem what games he's watched. Usually, Artem replies by saying that he didn't watch much. This time, I'm going to tell you straight up, I did not watch a single game in the RPL this weekend. So, Artem, we're together on this one, okay?
Hang on, did you not watch the Zenit game?
No, I didn't. I didn't watch any game.
I thought you did. I swear I saw you tweeting being like, "Oh, there's some bangers in this game."
Because that was Kai was putting the clips up, so I was just seeing them.
Oh right. Okay. Well, either way, I watched the highlights of Spartak and I watched the Zenit game. So I'm actually more prepared for this than you this week, which is incredible.
Fair play.
Man like Artem scoring 2 goals, his first and second goal for Spartak and in the Russian league. First one was a good finish. Second one was a really weird finish. He like toe poked it like really softly into the back of the net from about 25 yards out. The Zenit game, unbelievable. Dzyuba and Azmoun is so like it is arguably one of the best partnerships of all time in that league, to be honest.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Azmoun came off injured, unfortunately, but it doesn't look as bad as it did at the start. I think people thought he tore his ACL, whereas now it's actually turned out that he's going to be able to play the next game. Dzyuba scoring 3 goals, that puts him 20 goals away from beating the RPL record.
I think he'll discuss this a little bit earlier. I think he will definitely do it. I don't think he's gonna move abroad at this point. He signed a new contract and stuff, so I think he'll probably score his 20 goals and then go on to play in China or Saudi Arabia or the MLS or something.
What's he going to do first? Is he going to score his 5 goals for Russia and beat Krzyzyk's record?
Russia.
Or 20 goals in the league?
Russia. Yeah. So I think that's a simple answer. Yeah.
Yeah, you say that, but then like, you come up against better players really, and you have less games for Russia.
I think he'll do it.
I think he will as well, but just playing devil's advocate.
Whatever. You are the devil, so it's fine. What else? We had a lot of stuff this week. It was an interesting week actually. I don't know why I didn't watch a single game. Sochi held Krasnodar to a draw. Christian Noboa scoring a penalty yet again. Top scorer in the league with, is it 7 goals?
I think he is.
By the way, our unbeatable, indefensible streak of clubs without badges losing has come to an end. Khimki beat Dynamo Moscow and Dynamo, their manager got sacked. Fair play, I think that's a good thing. He was horrible.
In the press conference though, they did say that, look, if he'd lost to a team with a badge on Google, he wouldn't have got sacked. So
no, it's fair. You understand it, okay? You totally get their decision. And I don't think I'd ever be able to recover losing, like, from as a manager, losing to a team that doesn't even have a badge on Google. So it's good it up. But this week, Lokomotiv beat CSKA. Fyodor Smolov, big man Fyodor Smolov, back with another goal. It's been a really interesting week, honestly. And we have another international break coming up after this, which nobody likes to see. It's going to be really, really boring. I don't even know, or I don't even care who Russia are playing against. But we've got a special spotlight. We've got another interview this week with Rostov star striker Kento Hashimoto. He's actually a defensive midfielder, but he's the top scorer. He's one of the top scorers in the league with his 4 goals. Scored a brace against Arsenal Tula. And Artem, we're back with the interviews. How do you feel?
It's good to be back.
It's good to be back. I can't even find
I always love these interviews because I'm so confused all the time. Every single time I read one, I'm like, what is the interviewer thinking? But it's great content.
My browser is being an absolute horrific thing to run right now. But yeah, just to fill the time, these interviews are some of the weirdest things in the world. And this week, I think this one is going to be our best ever. This might beat Adolfo Gaich. Really high expectations, really high praise for this interview. But this, and like usually what it is it's like a small paragraph that's questionable. This time it is the entire interview. You can go to any part of this interview, you're going to find something questionable to talk about. Artem, what do you want to be, the journalist or you know what, actually you're going to be Hashimoto again. I'm going to be the
Very
journalist.
cool.
But this is funny as well. But let's start off. What scared you most when you moved to Russia?
I knew little about the country. I imagined, of course, a rather terrible picture. Strong, healthy men. Everybody smokes everywhere. It's very cold.
That's just funny.
Fortunately, people here are very kind, and it is not cold here at all. For now, at least. Everybody says that I was lucky because I am in the south of Russia. Ha 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 ha.
Hilarious.
My relatives were very worried because I was traveling here alone, and they also knew practically nothing about Rostov. They miss me a lot, but they don't worry anymore. We talk on the phone every day. I hope whenever the situation permits, I will be able to bring them to Rostov so they can see them for themselves what a beautiful stadium we have and how much the fans support us.
See, I don't know why he's scared about the cold because it's very cold in Japan in the winter. It's almost as cold as Russia, so I don't know what sort of cold he's imagining. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Uh, this is just some stuff about him coming from Japan and so on. But it's gonna go left. It's gonna go left real quick. He's asked about the team of children that played against Sochi. There we are. Okay, this is perfect. This is gonna take 15 minutes. I don't care. Right. So the last question was, have you heard that Rostov fielded a team born in 2003? What is unique about Rostov style? The natural progression from this, obviously, is a subheading titled Pandemic and Tragedy at Fukushima. Okay. Now, Kento, Russia is one of the 5 countries with the largest number of coronavirus cases. Wasn't that alarming?
Not particularly. Much depends on the people themselves and their behavior. So I decided that if I behave carefully and in a smart way, I can avoid infection. I use self-defense equipment such as masks and gloves, sanitizers, and try to avoid crowded places. So far, so good. Ha 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 ha. Self-defense equipment sounds like it feels like he carries a knife with him or something.
Just bad translation probably. But like I'm laughing at the fact that he's more worried about strong and healthy men than like Russia having mad coronavirus cases. But
Yeah, honestly.
we've got a lot more. How did Japan experience? We can skip that one. Now, this is the best question that has ever been asked on this podcast. Which was worse, the 2020 pandemic, the 2009 flood in Japan, or the 2011 earthquake and the Fukushima accident?
Each of these events left a scar on the face of the world and on our nation in particular. I think the flood and Fukushima were very scary events. They brought a lot of pain and suffering to the whole country. People lost their loved ones and their homes. This is very sad pages in our history.
That's honestly sad listening. I had no clue what was going on in the mind of the interviewer. I don't know how you even come to that. How did you survive that tragedy in 2011?
I'm not I'm not gonna lie, when I first read that question, I thought it said, "Did you survive that tragedy?" I was like, well, clearly. At the time I lived in Tokyo, the tremors there were not so strong. I did not feel the danger to my life at all. However, the metro had fallen into disrepair and the earthquake traces were visible throughout the city.
This is just. Have you ever been to Fukushima after that? Have you gone to the exclusion zone?
I was there, yes. The area near my grandparents' house was badly damaged. I saw that the elementary school collapsed there, and I saw the destroyed bridge. There are many flowers around in memory of the victims. The place was deserted, and there were heartbreaking pictures everywhere.
This is like insensitive to ask the poor bloke about. This is like me going to you and asking you about Chernobyl just out of the blue. This is sad. And there's more, by the way. They're going to talk about eating dogs or something similar again. They're asking him about dogs. They did with Huang, doing it to him. Cute dog, but whatever. Uh, 1 second. Right, right. Hold up. There was something else. Yeah, there you go. Myths and stereotypes about Japan. Always, you have to ask these whenever you're interviewing a player from that part of the world. There are many stereotypes about Japan and the Japanese. I will name a fact, and you tell us how much it corresponds to reality. First is the Japanese are a very hardworking nation.
We have a lot of serious people. They are very hardworking and completely devoted to themselves to work or study. But of course, not all. I think this happens everywhere.
It's very clean in Japan. You can walk the streets in white socks and not get dirty.
It's true. The city streets are very clean. There is no rubbish on the streets, and they are washed regularly. If anybody travels to Japan, try the White Sox Challenge.
Will do, definitely. The Japanese only eat rice and sushi, which is a horrible diet. You can't just survive on that, but they use only chopsticks.
Of course, not only rice and sushi, but mostly yes. Ha 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 ha. The use of chopsticks is mandatory. People around you may think that you are ill-mannered if you cannot eat with chopsticks. Of course, you can just eat sushi with your bare hands. I do that sometimes. In this case, no one will guess that you cannot eat with chopsticks.
The Japanese do not speak English.
Few people speak it, even fewer speak well.
The, the Japanese love anime.
Of course we love it. It comes from our childhood. We love it because we watched it as children and we watched it a lot. Plus, there are many world anime masterpieces that are adored all over the world.
Sake is the most popular alcohol in Japan.
Well, the problem is that sake is the name of any alcoholic drink in Japan. Wine, vodka, rum.
Sumo is the most popular sport in Japan.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't think it is the most popular, but people like it because it's been our traditional sport since ancient times, and watching sumo is a pleasure.
Right. Now, Artem, is this the best interview we've ever covered on this podcast, and what are your thoughts on it?
You know, I really feel a connection to all these players after, reading out these interviews. I think he's a pretty nice guy.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
stereotypes thing is actually, I actually think that that's not too left. The
Right.
thing about the Fukushima and all those other tragedies is rank your favorite tragedy 1 to 5. It's
Exactly.
not sure about that one, Chief.
Yeah. How much pain did you suffer in all of those tragedies? Just rank that. But honestly, man, these interviews need to keep coming. No other. This doesn't happen in Spain or England or any other this. You're not going to see an interview like this on the Daily Mail or whatever. But these are just hilarious, all of these, and we hope more keep coming. But I feel bad for these players a little bit. You need to have a certain degree. You need to be some degree of nice bloke to answer all of these well. And I hope someone in the near future just comes and just lambasts the interviewer. What are you talking about?
Do you think at any point that this is a bit of it's not really a football question, it's more of a translation question. Do you think that the translators kind of helped them out? Maybe the football, obviously they translate it more to make it more mellow towards the footballer, and whatever the footballer says back, they translate it kind of more. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know
Basically,
what you're trying to say.
softens the touch of it. If it was pure, if both these people spoke Russian to each other, maybe the answers would be even more comical.
Yeah, hands would be thrown. But I mean, I guess if you're interviewing him in English, then maybe not. If it's just an
Oh, is this in
interview,
English?
it might be. I'm not sure. Huang was in English, so Korean guy was. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
that's a bit of a weird, you can't say oh yeah, that other Japanese guy did it in English, so probably this guy did it as well.
That's almost as bad as that is almost as bad as these interview questions itself. But no, because they ask him a question about the Japanese not speaking in English, so I don't know, maybe. But whatever. Good interview, man. Good interview. Shout out to Sport Express. But we have some other stuff to talk about. We have Artem, are you going to buy FIFA this year? FIFA don't have. I mean, RPL is not a FIFA anymore. But what are your thoughts? What do you think is the best football game there is?
I am absolutely not going to buy FIFA this year. I think that FIFA is the best game. From a fun standpoint, I think PES is I've always liked PES. I've always been a fan of PES, but I think that FIFA is more realistic. Maybe not so much in the gameplay, but
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. I think FIFA is a more enjoyable game. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But the fact that the Russian league isn't in it properly this season,
Yeah, that's a shame.
I haven't been a fan of FIFA for maybe the last FIFA I enjoyed was FIFA 13 or 14. So
Really?
I really I haven't enjoyed a game since then. It's always been just really trash. The games I've been enjoying recently are more NBA 2K or those kind of games. It's not Like those sports games are so much better than FIFA and PES. I think
Yeah,
football
Football
has
Manager
really
is very
fallen
good.
behind.
Football Manager, I think, is nice. It's pretty good.
Football Manager facts, 100%. But I was talking more about
Yeah,
console
yeah, yeah.
games.
The playable games, if you will. Yeah, honestly, I think they have, but they need to rethink. Honestly, I think FIFA as well as PES, because like they're trying to focus on, even in this FIFA. Apparently, a new big thing is just customization. So customizing your stadium and stuff. Not much being done for like the playable modes or for game enjoyment. So they're trying to make money, and I guess it is what it is. But there's ways to make money and make it be fun. But we're off that tangent. We covered.
Like,
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
can no, hang on. One thing just about FIFA. Like, have you played NBA 2K?
No, I haven't, unfortunately.
Okay, right. Well, let me just explain to you, right? Their ultimate team, my team, is 100 times better than FIFA's. Firstly, because they drop free codes for players every single, like pretty much every day, right?
Yeah,
And secondly, because if you play FIFA, you're never gonna have Messi
true.
ever.
Yeah.
Like, how many people actually get Messi every year? Probably 1% less,
Hmm.
right? Whereas if you're playing NBA 2K, you can get Michael Jordan, and it might be not the best Michael Jordan. It might not be his best card, but you're getting Michael Jordan at when he was like 18 or 19, and it's still Michael Jordan. It's still
Yeah.
sick. It keeps you involved in it, like, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's painful to see like how trash FIFA is compared. Not even an Ultimate Team either. Like when you're playing my player, this is completely off topic. So
Yeah,
I
it,
bet the
it's got nothing to do with
podcast
what we're
listeners are
talking
like,
about this time.
"What are you even talking about?" But when you're playing my career, you're going through this whole thing where like there's cutscenes everywhere. You know, you're picking your sponsorships. You're picking like, oh yeah, do I want to stay with Nike or Adidas? Like,
Hmm.
how do I negotiate my contracts? All that kind of stuff. Like, and it's a completely different experience than what FIFA is. Like FIFA, I just like the last good thing they had was the Hunter storyline, right?
Even that, I
And
think,
it's
got boring.
that's the thing. It got boring because they washed it. Like the first season of that Hunter story was really good, and then after that, it just got washed up so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, look, they could do the same. Like, they could make career mode so good if they wanted to, but like, it's just that
They don't
thing.
want to.
Exactly, they
That
don't want to.
it's too much money for them to invest into doing that kind of stuff for the return they get because people are going to buy FIFA every year regardless of how shit it is. They think
Yeah,
they've proven that over the last 5 years. So
they have no
it's
incentive.
such a shame. It is such a shame.
It really is, because like, there's not, like, if you're a fan of like cars and stuff, there's a few games you can play. NBA 2K is a really good game. Even for like other sports, they have games. But with football, you're only stuck with two subpar games of Football Manager. But that's like, a casual can't play Football Manager that well, right? So it
That's the
is.
thing. You know, f- Football Manager is by far the best football game.
Yeah,
By
100%,
far.
100%.
Like once you've played Football Manager once, even if you didn't really get it, you can never go back to career mode.
Exactly.
It's
Career mode
impossible.
is horrible. When you play Football Manager, after that, career mode is honestly terrible. But going back to ratings, we discussed PES ratings, and now we're going to discuss FIFA ratings. After criticizing FIFA for the past 10 minutes, I'm actually going to give them some credit. They've done a decent job with RPL ratings. We discussed a few, I think, on Twitter when they came out, but now we've got all of them. Mario Fernandez is 82, Akinfiev is 80, Korluka 79, Kokorin is 78, which I think is nice. Bit generous maybe, but nice. Rikia is one of the fastest centre backs in the game. Chidera Ejuke is one of the fastest players in the game. Kamano Bakayev. Bakayev has a really nice card. So if anybody does want to build like a nice Russian team or a nice RPL team, because you could build a really good RPL team back in the day when they had the entire league, and it's not as feasible anymore. But yeah, that is what it is. Artem, any particular ratings you want to look at or talk about?
I'm actually I'm not in agreement with you that they're good ratings. I think the PES ratings are far better.
Really?
Yeah, far better. Like even the fact that Fyodor is silver. Like that's what kind of shit is that?
No, I think, look, the most.
He's the same rating. He's the same rating as Adair, and so is Sobolev.
No, but they did that as well. PES did that as well, I think.
No, I don't think they did, man.
I don't know. We'll,
Anyway, like
yeah.
Maximenko, arguably one of the top 3 goalkeepers in the league.
Yeah, Maximenko, I think, should be at least 75, at least a gold.
And go up again. Like, keep going. Like, for example, I think that Alexander
Selikov
Golovin,
shouldn't be that high. Golovin is not going to be here.
he's 79, right?
Yeah.
He should be 80 at least. He should be. There's no doubt about that. I'm pretty sure he was 80 or 81 in one of the previous games. And he should be at that level. Like, he didn't have a bad season last season. In fact, he was one of the better players at Monaco. There's no way that he should be 79. Alexei Miranchuk, I kind of get it because he's not really done anything in Europe yet.
Yeah.
But I don't agree with these ratings. I think Kokorin should be lower. As much as I like him being 78, I think that he should be 76 or so.
Yeah.
Like Selihov. How is Alexander Selihov?
Selikov, honestly. I'm going to go to the worst rating, I think. But before that, this Ilyuchenko guy seems like a really nice player to start off. 83 pace and 85 physical. Hope he comes to the RPL and could have another decent thing. Kudryashov is 73.
Kudryashov is higher rated than Ilzat Akhmetov.
Okay, fair play.
No. Hang on. Hanu, like, you can't say these ratings are good. They're not good. They're fucking shit. They're awful.
Zirov is only 71 rated. Why is he in the Russian national team? That's not fair. Cherchasov doesn't know ball.
Like, this shit is just ridiculous. Even Ilya Kuchepov, like, Kuchepov is like, all right, okay, 71. He's probably not he could be a gold, but let's just say he's not a gold. He should be 73 or 74 at least.
I think you're being a bit too harsh. I think
I think these ratings are awful.
No,
I think they're
awful.
terrible.
No. They're not awful.
They are.
They're not awful, man. Listen.
They're terrible.
Maybe a few.
Hanu, like, you can't be serious.
No, maybe a few of these bronzes, maybe ratings. I would probably like to see them up some upgrades by one, some downgrades by one or two. Overall, I think taking into account FIFA, they're fine. But okay, listen, this one's going to make you.
There shouldn't be any taken into account.
No,
there should be just good ratings or bad ratings.
No, I think they're.
Jordan Larson is 71.
That's the thing. He should be 74, perhaps. Right?
No, he shouldn't.
Wait, what? No, but listen. But you can't. Okay. FIFA have always had lower ratings for non-top 5 leagues. So you can't be mad at that. PES, on the other hand.
I absolutely can.
But then you've got to be mad at the entirety of FIFA. Every single season.
Why do you think I said it hasn't been a good game since 2014?
Okay, then that's fair. I thought you were going on about this year's ratings. This is the worst one, by the way. Rajkovic being 71 is... Bleh.
He's higher than Bijol and Bistrovic and Gajic.
And the Führer.
And Diveev.
No, Diveev should be much higher. The Führer, I think, has been shafted a bit.
I know these ratings are just terrible.
They're not that bad.
They're terrible.
At least Urunov is in the game. Play with Urunov.
Urunov is 2 ratings higher than Boris Rottenberg.
I mean, listen, man. I don't know.
I know.
Listen, I don't.
Okay, guys, whoever's listening to this rant, right? Let us know down in the comments. Let us know on Twitter. Are these ratings fair? Because for me, it's clear that these ratings are absolute bullshit. They've pretty much just flipped a coin for every single statistic.
Nah, come on, it's not that bad, man. Honestly, yeah, but let us know.
It's terrible.
They've not just gone off.
They absolutely have.
They're not winging it. They're not winging it, okay?
They are winging it.
No,
look at how have we looked at PES's ratings together, and we were looking through them. We were like,
you know what?
Yeah, that's accurate.
It's time
Here,
PES's ratings.
Let's do it. Let's do it. 100%.
Let's fight, okay? Fernandez 82 and 82. All right, okay?
Yeah.
Who else you got? Igor Akinfeev. He's, I think. Where's Igor Akinfeev? Igor Akinfeev is 79 on PES.
What's he on FIFA? 80?
7, yeah.
Okay, right. That's a.
Shalov at least is 79.
I
That's
can
fine.
get it. Like
Okay, you can get a
I can get
minus.
seven. I can get -1 rating for like a
Kutepov is
goalkeeper who's
77. That's fine. Ayrton is 77. Kral is 77. These aren't that, like, they're almost, if you. Adair is 76. Look at the players below Adair. Safonov is the same as Adair. Norman is the same
okay.
as Adair.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But still, they're better ratings though.
Oh, then that is.
They are better ratings. On overall, I think the PES ratings are way better.
They're not way better. They're better, but not way better, in my opinion.
They're
Let
way
us
better.
know. The audience must let us know. Uh, what you think and what game you prefer, what football game you prefer. But Artem, we got anything else? You want to talk about anything else?
Uh, I haven't gotten anything.
Yeah. So next week I think we're gonna have the international break to talk about, which is a depressing thought.
Oh, we might have a guest on or something.
Yeah, we might have. We definitely probably will have a guest on. If you want to come on, of course, the listener, let us know. Hit us up with a message or anything. Champions League draws today. Hopefully that'll be fun. Hopefully the weekend's games are fun. But yeah, as ever, it's been fun. Follow us on Twitter. Watch us on Sportrex. Watch us on YouTube. Interact with us on Twitter. And Artem, yeah, just your final words.
Yeah, as always, if you like the video, please leave a like on SportsRec. Leave a gold medal.
Yeah,
Um, interact with us on Twitter. We love a bit of interaction. We love when people comment. We love
yeah,
when people talk to us. Give us any topics you want us to cover. Like we said, let us know what ratings you think are more fair in FIFA or PES.
okay, yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it from us this week. So have a great week, and we'll see you again next week.